We continue to get you ready for Clemson this Saturday. Brian Higgins, crosstown in the football auditorium, is the starting quarterback, Rex Culpepper. And Rex, first off, how's that sound to have a starting quarterback in front of your name now? It'll be your third career start this week. It's been a long time coming, but what's it like to kind of have this moment of your career right now in front of you?
Right. I've had this game taken away from me twice. Both times it was very hard to deal with. So football is something that I don't take for granted. And even though this opportunity it's in a tough situation, I couldn't be more excited, and I couldn't appreciate it more that I have a chance to go out on the field and be a starting quarterback.
We've heard Coach Babers talk about it this week, leaning on the senior class. And we know, hey, whoever the starting quarterback of a team is, by nature, is a leader of the team. How do you transition that? I mean, you're a veteran around here anyway, but to take over the mantle, not just as the quarterback, but of a guy kind of setting the direction of the team right now.
I don't think it changes much for me personally, because I believe if you were to ask my teammates that about me, I'm someone who leads by example. I'm always trying to get better. I'm always, trying to be the first one here and the last one to leave, whether that's the weight room, whether that's the film room. I'm always trying to ask questions. I'm always trying to represent Syracuse in the best way off the field as well. So in terms of my position on the team changing with becoming the starting quarterback, I don't think there's a huge transition there, because I strive to lead by example.
I think, Rex, hey, we all know your story, and it's very simple to boil it down to just a few things. Cancer comes back, now you're the starting quarterback. But for you, you've lived every day through here. It's a lot more than that. How do you balance, I guess, the short version of the story, which doesn't tell everything, and you know what you're going through? You live every day of your life, and here you are.
Right. It's honestly not on the top of my mind. Having been through cancer and all that, I've kind of come out clean on the other side, and I know that, it's a heck of a story, but it doesn't make anything any easier. It doesn't mean that Clemson's not going to be going full speed. It doesn't mean that Wake Forest isn't going to be going full speed. So, been through a lot to get here, but at the end of the day, no one really feels sympathy. No one cares. And I mean that in a way, in terms of it's not going to be any easier out there on the field. So it's not something that I think about every single day. It's more something that I can lean on to give myself confidence that I've been through some tough stuff. And if there's tough stuff on the horizon, I've probably been through worse.
I'd say it's got to clear your mind a little bit, right? Hey, Clemson's got first-round draft picks that are trying to come and hit you this weekend. That you're right. That's what's in front of you on Saturday afternoon, not anything else.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see how that goes this weekend. And I'm curious, Rex. I mean, obviously, it's been so much of your life. The one thing I like is, hey, you haven't cut your hair since then. It's a completely different look than when you were high and tight coming in here. How long do you think you're going to roll this way? I think it's a pretty good look right now.
I think I'm going to let it ride for the whole season. There'll probably have to be a decision once I go home for winter break and, Mom gets to see me every day and I get to hear her opinion on what she thinks about the long hair. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy having hair again.
There you are. Hey, you've been growing it out. It's down across the shoulders. I like it. I like the look here. I think it gives you a good look on the football field with it trailing out. Hey, you and Trevor Lawrence this weekend. I mean, it'll be the battle of the best hair in college football, I think.
Right.
So we'll see how that goes. You said when you go home, you've told the story before of how Derek Jeter is one of the neighbors you got back in Tampa, and how you've gotten to spend some time with him. Do I have this correct that Tom Brady has rented his house next door to you guys at home? Have I heard this right? Yes,
that is correct.
Have you encountered him at all when you were at home in the spring, or no such luck?
It was quite a surprise, but so Tom Brady was out back. He just got a big 38-foot boat, and they were kind of messing around on it as a family. And my father and I, we were actually up on a ladder cleaning windows at the back of our house. We're always finding something to do. And Tom Brady kind of yelled across, and he's like, "Hey, Culpeppers." And, I turned around, and he's like, "Hey, you're the kid that plays quarterback at Syracuse." And I was taken back, man, Tom Brady knows who I am. That's amazing. So I did get the chance to talk to him, and it's kind of nuts that Tom Brady's my neighbor, but
That's a pretty cool story. Like, you'd think you'd be a guy that would maybe stay to himself, right? And then he's yelling at you from a boat while you're on a ladder. That's not Rex. I'll say this: you got a lot of crazy stories. That is not a story that anybody else walking the planet has right now.
right.
All right, so that's a pretty cool one. No time to pick his brain though for quarterback tips, unfortunately, huh?
No, I'm no time for that.
Well, maybe when you're back home over winter break, he'll have something for you. So, Rex, it's Clemson this week. You've been around this whole time. You've seen all these games. You guys, the big win. You were in it a couple of years ago in Death Valley. Last year, not as much. How do you guys handle it this week? I mean, you've seen every end of the spectrum with these guys over the course of your career.
Right. So, I mean, obviously they're the best team in college football, and it's when you look at it, it seems like an impossible task. But the bottom line is, you just have to take it one play at a time and go out on the field. If you remember when we beat Clemson, I remember being on the sideline and guys didn't know from the start. It wasn't like we came in as a team and we were like, okay, we're going to beat Clemson. It was just that we, one play went our way, then another play went our way, and then all of a sudden Dante Strickland breaks a tackle and scores a touchdown, and we all started to believe in it. So I think that the mindset that I have is just to go take it one play at a time, and see how the cards fall.
Hey, it worked out as well as it could have that day. And it felt like the next year you guys did have the belief coming off that, and heck, almost did it again down there in Death Valley. You're actually the last team in the ACC that has beaten Clemson. That's now more than 3 years ago. Rex, let me wrap up with this. We know you're the veteran now. You're in the starting role. And behind you are two freshmen that we have never seen play a snap of college football before, when you look at Jacoby and Morgan and Dylan Markowitz. So what do you view as your role with trying to bring these guys along a little bit? I mean, hey, you're the guy out there, but these two got to know what's going on too right now.
Right. Well, they're both fantastic kids. They're great learners. They ask a lot of questions. They're very invested. I think back to when I was a freshman, and I cared, but I knew like, oh, I have time. Like, it's going to come. Whereas these guys are aggressively learning, and I strive to be the best role model that I can to them. But I'm also I'm old in age, but young in terms of, quarterback experience. So I'm learning just like they are. And we're spending as much time possible trying to learn the nuances of this offense from Coach Gilbert. And but I'm very complimentary of those guys. They've been putting in a lot of effort.
All right, Rex, great perspective on everything. Glad to spend a few minutes, and hey, enjoy it this weekend down in Death Valley.
Thank you.